I'm waiting for it to say we're live. Okay, we're live and welcome everybody to Facebook Live with Dr. Bryant. And we have an exciting day for you today.
Yes, we
Um,
do.
uh, I'm sorry?
I was saying, yes, we do. We got a great day ahead of us.
Absolutely. And Dr. Bryant, why don't you let everybody know a little bit about yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Nelva Bryant. I'm a veterinarian. A little bit different for me. I'm working in the airline industry, and I've been doing so since 2018, around that time frame. I have an insight to try to help people prepare their pets for air travel, and I developed When Pets Fly to actually be able to share this information with you, with all pet parents and also fellow veterinarians, to try to just get everyone prepared for air travel. It's more to it than sometimes just getting a crate, getting your health certificate. There's a lot more work that's involved with getting your pets prepared for air travel, and that's what I'm here to share. We've been having these Facebook live events because I've met quite a few interesting people throughout this time frame during the pandemic and just being involved since 2018. And I like to share the folks that I've met and their expertise and how they can help you get prepared for future air travel with your pet. So today we got a great show ahead of us in reference to that. So I believe this is show number 5. Amazing. 5 is my favorite number, but show number 5. But go ahead. Yeah, that's me. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm passionate about. And I thank you for watching.
As you mentioned, I believe, yes, we had about five Facebook Lives so far, and they have been really well received with all of the great information, not only that you've been sharing, but also the different guests that we've had to join us. And so I know that we've had GVL or Global Vet Link, who came on our very first show to let everyone know that they have a second website to help pet parents in prepare for their travels, and that is travelwithyourpet.com.
Fly with my pets.
I'm sorry, flywithmypet.com. And they help you get all of your paperwork together, especially the health certification that you need to get signed by your veterinarian. It also helps point you in the right direction in any other types of preparation that you need to do. So everyone should definitely check out that website. Then we had Gail Marks on with us, and she helped to explain how she single-handedly revolutionized the airline industry with her groundbreaking and standard-setting carry on in-cabin carry-on bags that are made for pets. That her bag alone has set the standard for all of the rest of the bags, and honestly is the only one that is airline authenticated, or the one that they guarantee will allow you onto the plane. They even have a guarantee program where you can go through them, and no matter what, you and your pet will be able to safely travel on the plane. Where because sometimes people get to the airlines with the bags they have, and they're not regulation.
Not proper,
So
they won't have
yeah,
proper ventilation, what have you. But with Gail's bags, the Sherpa bags, that they meet those standards, which is great.
absolutely, absolutely. And they come in all kinds of designs because she's a fashion girl. So and then also we had Dr. Adam Chrisman on our Facebook Live with us last week, and he just shared. Dr. Nelva Bryant and Dr. Adam Chrisman both shared a wealth of knowledge, tips for the holidays, for travel, food, anything you can imagine. Everyone needs to go check out that episode because it was chock full of suggestions and advice.
Yes.
And then today we have a fantastic young woman. Her name is Sharon, and most people know her sidekick Teddy, which is her dog, and they travel all over the world. And we wanted to bring her and Teddy on today so that as a pet parent, we're able to have real conversation, ask great questions, and let you all, our viewers, hear from someone just like basically all of us. And I guess if at this point, I think she's had over 50 trips with her dog in this year. So at this point, we might as well just call her an expert at
travel. Definitely,
yeah.
definitely. Wow.
She's put in her miles just like a pilot.
Right. Look, she and Teddy has traveled more than the average adult. I bet. That's great.
Absolutely.
Well, before we get her, if you don't mind, I was share a few tips to head into there. It's something I thought about. I do write articles for a newsletter for Zounds Pets for Music for Pets, excuse me. And the recent one that I came up with is really, I think it keys right into what you're doing, what Sharon is doing and other pet parents are doing, or just traveling in general. Doesn't mean traveling by air, but just in a general traveling with your pet. One thing to remember with that is you want to keep them healthy too during transport. And yes, prior, you want to make sure you have all the proper carriers and what have you to get them to carry them around or travel with you. But some things to consider is that you want them to remain healthy as well. And with that, just be aware, and I jotted down notes for myself, if you don't mind, but just be aware, whenever you travel to a new environment, it could be hiking, could be to the grocery store, could be to the coffee shop. Your pet is being exposed to different pathogens that you may not normally have at home. Say if it's a pet-friendly environment, there's a lot of pets there, but you don't know if every single pet there is fully vaccinated or what have you. So protect your pet when you're traveling. Make sure they're fully vaccinated. As far as water, especially for those that like to take their pets to out hiking or to lakes or what have you, don't let them drink that water or groundwater or stream water, whatever. Don't let them. You wouldn't drink it, so don't let your pet drink it. It can contain pathogens, algae, and what have you. And there has been instances where dogs have gotten very ill after going for a fun day out at the lake, and then now your dog is really, really sick. So that, and I'm sure pet parents know when you're traveling to different destinations, you might want to bring your pet's food with you because changing their diet suddenly to something else can lead to diarrhea. And that'll be another issue that you might have when you're out, your different locations, what have you. And keeping them away from pets also that don't have, that you don't know the vaccination history on, because again, they could potentially transmit things to each other. And also keep them away from wild animals, again, potential disease transmission or bites, wounds, what have you. You don't want that to happen. And one main thing is to, once you travel, never ever forget, like say upon your arrival back home, if your pet is sick and you have to go see a veterinarian, make sure you inform your veterinarian of your recent travels. So those are my tips that I gave in that newsletter. And I think this is a good segue for Sharon, because like I said, she's definitely expert in travel with her pet. I don't even have that type of expertise as far as that. I can tell you what you need to do as far as preparing, but I haven't personally experienced it myself. So I'm glad that Sharon's here to share it with everyone.
Absolutely. And she is really a delight. And I'm looking forward to, her her inside tips as to what worked best for her. I'm sure it was a trial and error type thing. So, by the end, I'm sure she had it down, her and Teddy had it down pat as to what was to do. But I really am looking forward to hear her steps and all that good stuff. So why don't we go ahead and bring Sharon on in? So
I'm going to do something that's going to make me geeky here. Hold on. I'm here. Let's see. Let's applaud her for being here.
Oh my gosh, yay! Sharon, you should be excited. We've been doing pretend. Absolutely. We've been doing a pretend clap for people. Yep. So now you get the official clap.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, Sharon, why don't you tell everybody about yourself, and so that they will get to meet you, all the people who don't know just yet, and all the people can start to love you together.
Sure. I'm Sharon. I'm the creator behind Sharon and Teddy Take the City on social media. I also have a dog-friendly lifestyle blog named Simply Sharon and Teddy. And my dog Teddy, he is a Maltese Yorkie mix, and he's honestly like the inspiration behind everything. Like if I didn't have him, I wouldn't have done any of this. This would not existed. Mm-hmm. And together we've done a lot of travel for the past about 5 years. He is now about to be 10. So since he was about 4 or 5 years old, he's been traveling with me, and we've done about almost 100 flights together, and we have gone to over 50 cities in the U.S. We've only done domestic. We haven't conquered international travel just yet, and we've been traveling for like 5+ years, and I really wanted to. I started my social media, my blog, because I wanted to share my experience so that other dog parents who may want to travel with their dogs would want to figure out how to do so, and just spark some interest in them to like go out and have adventures with their dog. And currently we live in Atlanta. We're transplants in Atlanta, and we of course also love exploring our city.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really, really awesome. Well, the topic of pet travel is really huge. As you know, most people have gotten more pets during the pandemic and everything. So, and they form that bond, and now they want to travel with them. So your information that you share is really, really good. I did look at your website and blog. I think you have some great tips in there. I really do.
Thank you.
Well, Sharon, one of the questions that has come in, I want to share with you is, where should someone start who wants to travel with their dog? But I'd like to expand dog to pets, because cats can travel too.
Right.
That's true. So where should someone start? Usually I recommend really starting with socializing your dog, and getting them used to being in environments that are always changing. And I would say get them comfortable with being in uncomfortable positions. So like I recommend taking them to different places, whether that's like the store, getting coffee, wherever it's dog friendly, having them and training them in these different environments so they get used to greeting people and being with other dogs, and really taking notice of like how they do in different environments, and doing some training, and also just understanding that some dogs don't, they may not respond how you think they may. Some dogs may not love it, and that's okay. Like you kind of have to advocate for your dog, and some dogs just are better off at home, being comfortable where they're at home, and thrive there, and that's okay. So I recommend starting there, when you want to like start your travel, whether that's by plane or you want to take car rides. Either way, like I recommend starting with socialization.
Oh, I think that's a great idea. It's interesting. How did you get Teddy? Since you said, did you get Teddy as a puppy or?
Mhm.
You did. Okay. I'm sorry. I was under the assumption since you traveled starting at 5 that maybe you got Teddy a little bit later on when it was a little bit older. But
No.
that means you socialized Teddy from day one. You've
Mhm.
always socialized him. That's good. That's great.
Yeah, I got him as a puppy, but honestly, I didn't know I could travel with my dog, until like much later, having him, and I used to just board him, and then at some point he didn't love being boarded, and was doing my research to kind of figure out, what can I do? Can he come with me? And the other aspect was, from Pennsylvania, and my family's there, and they would always want to see him and have me bring him along. So I was like, all right, we'll just make this happen.
Family. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's really good. So I saw, and I was reading your information. Looks like you initially started out, he was your emotional support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was, when it was still allowed to have emotional
Yeah.
support dogs.
I hope you understand why it did happen, the situation. Yeah, that was it was probably a long time coming. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that misuse the name of saying emotional support. So the ones that really did need them kind of went away with it. But like I said, if you have somebody with a peacock trying to get on an aircraft, that's a little bit crazy. So they just kind of took advantage of that situation, and really it was the loophole was you have two regulations: the Air Carrier Access Act and ADA, American Disabilities with Disabilities Act. With the ADA, it's more defined on what service animals is. For the ACAA, they didn't really define it as well. So that was a little loophole that everyone kept utilizing. But as you know, since January 2021 timeframe, that's gone away and everything. But I'm so happy that you can still travel with Teddy because he's small enough. So that's great news.
Yes,
So, yeah.
I am lucky in that sense. I know like some of the bigger dogs don't, can't do it, but they can always do car rides and travel that way.
Yeah. I mean, cargo, I go back to a lot of folks who are against cargo. I don't think cargo is the worst thing. I think what it is people aren't prepared. And again, they don't know how to prepare their pets. And that's going to go into same as you things you did there. So you socialized Teddy. You made sure he was comfortable being in the crate. In the carrier that you use, well, you do that with a larger crate with the pet. Find ways to get them comfortable for that confinement, and just get them ready. Make sure they're healthy too. As far as more than just a health certificate, make sure they're medically fit and sound for that travel, and that will work. But I just in my mind, and I know the data too, it's not as bad as what everyone thinks. It's just the fact that yes, negative things have happened, but also it's been related to some of the things that maybe the pet parent didn't know how to prepare for either. Far as I know, there has not been any instances where airlines would say something where someone in the airline did something wrong to the animal in those instances. So, but I do understand the fear behind it. But my goal is to start educating folks and helping them get prepared and everything. So that's my goal.
One of the things that I love that Sharon did, and she mentioned, is that she, like everybody, doesn't know where to start, but she did research.
Yes.
And then not only just the research, she researched the airlines because each airline has different requirements. And, I'm so happy that she did that, went that far, because I know you, Dr. Bryant, have pointed out that, when you do your research, be very thorough, check out what each airline requires of you. And then I think you take it a step further, as in find out what you need to return home. Everybody does it to get there, but you got to come back. So,
right.
Well, another question that has come in is, okay, yeah, there we go. Boy, my machine's working a little slow. Do airlines really make your dog stand up and turn around in the carrier? And
so in my experience, thankfully, I've only had mostly good experiences. I have not been asked to have Teddy stand up and turn around in the carrier. But I have talked to other friends who have had that happen. I think it really just depends on the airlines. We usually fly Delta because they're in Atlanta. It's their hub. And Delta is usually a little loose. Their rules are, you have to have your dog fit into a certain size carrier and fit underneath the seat in front of you. If they ask me, they just check to see if he's comfortable in his carrier. I know people have said to me that some airlines like United have asked them to have their dogs turn around or stand up just to see if their dog is comfortable. So I think it really just comes down to the airline, the agent that you get. So that's probably what it comes down to.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I do know Delta has more of a size, as you said, just fit underneath the seat. And they have measurements for the carrier for that as well. But I've heard other airlines would say have a weight limit requirement on there too. So it varies. You just, as you said, Sharon, do your research. Each airline is different. It's unfortunate for the customer that the policies vary by airline, but that is the case right now. I would love to see if we can somehow, over the years, make a streamlined policy for all airlines to follow would be ideal, but that's going to probably take a little bit of time.
Yeah, that's definitely the most frustrating part where, and even sometimes like on a Delta, a different aircraft is a slightly different rule, or, the seat is a little smaller because it's a smaller plane. So just like little things like that, and you don't know sometimes what kind of aircraft you're getting. So that can be a little frustrating. So hopefully we'll be able to like get to a place where everything is streamlined.
I don't know if they can streamline that as far as size, because each aircraft is different.
Different.
Trust me, I'm trying to learn them all myself. I got a colleague at work that says he's going to make sure I learn these aircrafts, because he can look at a distance and see, yeah, that's a 737-300. And I don't know how he does it, but he knows what they are. I can do that with dog breeds, but you do with an aircraft. So I'm going to learn that, but there are variations and differences. Some are single wide with just a one aisle down. Then the ones that more of a double wide has a two, and there's going to be variations on what can fit there. And then also, if you're going traveling, say, from a hub, Atlanta, to a smaller station, they're going to have a smaller aircraft. So all these things come into play. So yeah.
Yeah, and then like international travel is just a whole nother.
Yeah, that's a whole nother one, and you have to realize once you get there, say what they might allow on the aircraft here as far as the carrier and the sizing. If you get to your destination and they think it's too small for the pet, the airline can get fined and all of that. So there's so many variations you have to do traveling.
Yeah, this is why we haven't conquered international travel yet. It's a whole different beast.
You've done a lot here in the U.S., though. You've done a lot. So what are the major cities you've gone to?
So my parents are in Pennsylvania, so we do most of our travel is to go to Pennsylvania to see them. And I would say our favorite places that we've been are on the West Coast, probably San Francisco, LA, San Diego have been our favorite, because they just are really dog-friendly cities. Their beaches they always have a dog-friendly beach. You can be off leash, things like that.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely a lot of initiatives towards that. There's an initiative, I think it's Mars Pet Care has an initiative for making pet-friendly airports.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So I actually, there's some rules and criteria with it. I suggested to someone, I have a colleague with the Atlanta Humane Society. They want either someone working with the mayor's office, or say something large like a Humane Society to kind of lead up that initiative. And I suggested to a colleague at the Atlanta Humane Society, hey, why don't you do that for the Atlanta airport? I mean, there was not many things that you need. I mean, they already have the relief animal areas. It's just more increasing the signage so you know where things are and what to do. But I'm hoping she pursues that. I don't think I can pursue it.
That'd be amazing for Atlanta.
Yeah.
We have another great question that's come on that I want to share with you guys. So how do you choose places to stay, and what do you pack? So I guess to kind of segue from what we just talked about to this, now, when you choose places, is it geared towards how friendly the city is, and how else do you make your choices?
So other than visiting my family, when it comes to choosing a city, honestly, I since I'm on social media a lot, when I see other, whether it's a dog influencer or any kind of influencer that is bringing their dog along on activities, I will take note of that. And that's kind of how I choose what cities I want to go to. I can't say every single city I've gone to has been the most dog friendly. Every city is kind of slowly starting to evolve to be more dog friendly, some just more than others. But I would say how I choose a place, like what city I want to go to, is just what I see on social media or reading on blog posts. That really determines it, unless I have to go to a city, like I have a conference or something. In that case, then I will just I'll do research. I may look at other influencers or blogs, or I'll look on bringfido.com. They're really good on resources. They have a list of almost every, the hotels that are dog friendly, activities that are dog friendly. The only thing I would recommend is, after you find it on Bring Fido, make sure you check the website of the hotel, Airbnb, or the activity you're going to do, because things have changed, especially since 2020. I just recommend like double checking. So that's how I like choose places to go, and how choosing places to stay also when it comes to hotels.
I
Yeah,
know,
that's
just to add a note to what you just said, that I really love SPG hotels, which has been absorbed by the Marriott chain, and because they are pet friendly, and then the higher levels of those hotels, they even have really catered to the pet, where they provide beds and bowls and sometimes food. They even have, I've seen hotels where they have a whole menu on a screen, on a monitor for your dog, so they can order from a chef just like you can. So, if I was to recommend any hotel to anyone out there, it would be, any of them that are former SPG and now part of the Marriott family.
It's amazing how like some hotels have really, really gotten dog friendly with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great thing. And also, besides Los Angeles being a very pet friendly city, so is New York City. All their parks and a lot of hotels as well, and even some restaurants allow for your pet to come with you. So New York City and Los Angeles, and I believe I heard San Diego as well, like as the top in the cities and stuff like that.
I
So
believe that. I love all of those cities.
that's great. We have quite a few questions, so I'm going to bring up another one for us, that we can share with you. And that's, what sort of things should I expect on the day of travel?
Sure. So on the day of travel, like what I usually do is I will make sure I exercise Teddy, whether that's a long walk or doing some sort of enrichment exercise or game. Like I try to tire him out. So by the time we're walking out the door, he's almost like ready for a nap, and he's going to like just be calm for me, because that's so helpful when we travel. Um, I also try to make sure I feed him at a certain time so that he has enough time to go potty. So we're not having accidents in the airport, or he needs to go anywhere in between. For flights, I recommend arriving early, and just so you have enough time, because everything with plane travel is just so go go go, and it's just nice to get there calmly, and your dog will be calm, then you'll feel calmer, and if something goes wrong, you have a chance to like correct the wrong. So when you're doing plane travel, you'll have to go to the counter, because you can't check in initially, like you usually can check in 24 hours in advance. You can't when you fly with a dog. So you'll have to check in. Sometimes the gate agent will ask questions, sometimes they won't, and they'll just you'll have to pay your fee, and after that you'll go through TSA. If you have regular TSA, you do have to, when you go through the regular X-ray, not the one that does the the full body scan, but the regular one, they usually check your hands, where they swipe it. And I guess I'm not 100% sure what that's for, but maybe you'll be able to.
they're looking for explosives, basically.
And I've noticed that when I do TSA pre-check, they don't do that, which is really helpful, helps you, you don't have to worry about that extra step. So I do recommend that if you can get TSA pre-check. And by the time I get to the gate, I sometimes take Teddy to pet relief area if he needs to go. I'm usually not the biggest fan of the pet relief areas, because they're usually dirty. But if he has to go, he has to go. And I try to board early on the flight, just so we can get situated, and it makes it easier on me, so I'm not feeling so rushed. And on the flight, if you're a non-service dog, you have to be in the carrier the whole entire time. And after the flight, I recommend just trying to get your dog to go pee and go potty as soon as you can, whether that's a relief area or going outside. So those are the things that you can expect on a day of travel when you're flying. And one of my biggest tips for that would be just, especially your first couple times, you're going to be really like anxious, not knowing what to expect, but like your dog is going to notice that and feel that off of you. So just take some deep breaths and just kind of go with the flow and try to stay calm for them.
Yeah, I'm with you. You know, you makes me think of again, I've never traveled with my dog is too big. She's good 85 pounds sitting
Oh,
behind me,
wow. Mhm.
but never traveled with her. But what you make me think of it where that could be stress for first time traveling. I remember many moons ago I had my son and I was supposed to fly home to be with family in New York, and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I canceled because the
Oh,
stress of the whole event scared me. I've never, first time mother, I've got a baby on a plane. I just felt it was just too overwhelming for me to handle. And which is crazy because, we're all strong women, and
mhm.
everything, but certain stress levels I wasn't prepared for. So yeah, again, it's great you're giving these tips out because it could be overwhelming for someone to take their pet that, you want to travel with them, but it's overwhelming and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's similar, like you said, like you felt anxious and couldn't do
Mhm.
it. I mean, I felt the same way, and it's okay. Like, if you're a first time person doing it, it's absolutely completely normal to feel that way.
Yeah.
So,
One thing,
I'm
oh,
sorry.
one thing I noticed that you didn't say, which I'm happy I didn't hear, is you didn't say sedation. You didn't say anything to kind of calm Teddy down, because what you've done to calm Teddy down is number one, you've got him acclimated to being confined. You wore him out with a walk and got him tired out by the time that he made it to the airport. You didn't mention any medication to get him to kind of make him sedate, calm him down even further. I'm happy about that because I think it's a common mistake. Now, when pets are being transported, hmm? I'm sorry.
No, nobody
Oh,
said anything.
oh, when you travel by cargo, now that's a big no-no. Airlines are saying no for pets being sedated. But when you're in cabin with it, it's really your responsibility. And it's still so in a sense, you can do it. The airline's not going to be against it because it's under your responsibility, but it's not a smart move because guess what? If something happens during transport, what are you going to do?
Mhm.
You can't say, "Hey, is there a veterinarian on board or somebody to you don't know?" So what are you going to do if your pet has a problem during transport? So
Yeah.
it's best to not give anything. I think what you're saying earlier, the calmer you are and the more prepared you are, the best for your pet during
Yeah.
transport.
I will say the first couple times that I did go, we
Mm-hmm.
did visit the vet and we did get Xanax for
Mm-hmm.
him. And he did take it the first time. And one of the problems is like giving it to them the right time, right? Because sometimes it takes like 30 minutes or whatever time to start
Mm-hmm.
working. You can't give it too ahead because, if the gate agent wants you to like see your dog and turn him around, you can't have him be so sleepy. And then is it going to last through the whole flight? So I think by the second time we flew, I forgot to
Mm-hmm.
give it to him, and I was like, oh, he did fine. So since then we don't do anything other than like exercise or something before we get on the flight.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think that's the best way, honestly.
One of the things I wanted to just touch on real quick. So I know that it's all about planning and getting things timed just right. So even when you don't have a dog, the airlines would love for you to be there 2 hours early. And that's just to make your way through all the different processes without having to be rushed. So bringing a dog, do you recommend come even an hour earlier, like make it 3 hours before your flight, or what is your recommendation?
I'll maybe add like 30 minutes. I think I'm at that point where I don't need to come earlier. I think in the beginning I used to at least do like 30 minutes earlier just for my sanity. But now that I'm pretty used to it, I know where I'm going at the same airport. I'm pretty good with it.
I think that's a great idea, though, for those, especially for the first timers, as you're saying, get there even earlier than that, because you never know. You got to find the relief areas, and they're not always the same terminal in it. Excuse me, I live in Atlanta too. They're not always in the same terminal, so you might have to go to a different terminal. So early. Excuse me.
Yeah, I will say Atlanta has gone much better, where it seems like a lot more of the terminals have dog relief areas, which is good for us.
Another question that has come in is, what tips do you give dog parents traveling for the first time with their pet?
So my biggest advice, so right now, like it's been a while since it's been my first time, like traveling with my dog, but I am actually planning an international travel, in January. So like all that anxiety that I had the first time of unknowing has come back to me. So it was perfect timing for like this kind of, answer. First thing I recommend is doing a lot of research. Like check the airlines, check where you're going, ask friends who live in the city, or other influencers, read their blogs. You can read my blog. I have a lot. Whenever I go to a city, I do guides for each city that we go to, so you can get an idea of what to expect. Is the city really that friendly, or should have to come up with better accommodations, and just ask for honest opinions to see like how did other people experience their travel with United or Delta or whoever you fly with. I would say that's one of the first things, like do a lot of research. A second tip would be like be an advocate for your dog. If your dog isn't comfortable traveling or being in new places, then you should really just second guess it, or like second think it, and like maybe stay home or have them stay home with a friend, or being boarded. I'm trying to think what other tips.
You know what you're saying too. I think it's great. Just to get, where are you thinking about traveling to?
Oh, Belize.
Belize. Okay.
Mhm.
One thing going there, just be aware, you've got I would say an added tip for everyone listening, is to, yes, research the airline and their policies, figure out maybe the best one for you. Be the advocate for your pet, like you're saying. Sometimes you might have to let them stay home, especially because this is going to be a long, long trip, and there may not be a nonstop flight. So you got to be mindful of that. But what I want you to do too is to consider the pet entry requirements for that destination country. Extremely important, because if you don't meet those requirements, you might be on the next flight back to the US, because they will deny entry, and you don't want that to happen. I actually just recently gave a few webinars on that topic itself for my fellow veterinarians on international pet travel, because it's extremely complicated. So I don't know when you're planning on traveling. If I can work with you on helping you make sure you can get to your destination in Belize.
I appreciate that. We're flying in January, and I've already got him an import permit from them. And the next step, we are going to get a veterinary certificate.
Okay.
But like, not only that, it's like the concern of getting him back home is also there.
Yes, that's another thing too. You got to come back, and you've got to you can't just say, trust me. I used to work with CDC many years ago doing dog importation, and folks would say, it's an American dog. I was like, that has nothing to do with anything. You traveled out of the country. We don't know what you've been exposed to, and there's requirements to come back into the US, because remember how I said earlier, we want to keep, it's about keeping your pet healthy too. There's infectious diseases everywhere you go. The diseases that are more common here in the US, you may be exposed to something that not common. You know what I'm saying? You come back here and get sick or spread it to other pets. So you want to make sure they're protected for travel and everything. So
yeah, one of the major things with Belize is they are on CDC's list for rabies.
Are they high risk? Are they high risk? Ay, yikes.
I know.
You got to get a lot of permissions for that. You know that.
Yeah. So that's like of all the things I'm like researching, trying to figure out. And, worst case scenario, I'm on the flight back and I will have to deal with it that way.
Just one of the main things, again, I can share the information with you offline as far as exact things that's needed. Teddy, I'm sure, is vaccinated against rabies. They may require a rabies titer, all these things to get done. So start thinking about that in advance. How long do you plan on being in Belize?
About 2 weeks.
Yeah, you need to start working on that now.
Yeah, I've been slowly working on it.
Look, yes, for the going there, but for your return, yeah, you need to start working on it. You do.
Oh goodness, yeah, it's a lot to think about.
It is. But yeah, I'm willing to assist you whatever I can.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Another resource for is Global Vet Link's new site. So, I think they'll have a lot of information about international travel on there for you, maybe even some checklists for international travel.
Okay.
So, and their new site is flywithmypet.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Sharon, we know that you're a well-known traveler and you are, covering the country as best you can. Do you have like a top 3, top 5 favorite cities, or are you going to do an article about that?
I don't, but I can write one. And I would say our favorites traveling together are, I would say San Francisco, including Napa, and then I would say San Diego, and then I would say Sedona for our top 3.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And is that because of hotel? Is it because of environment? What makes something the top of your list?
A combination. First, I would say hotels. California just seems to have a lot of like nicer hotels that cater to dogs, like you mentioned the menu before. Just going that extra step, is helpful for dog parents. The other thing is dog-friendly activities, because you can get there and then like you can't bring your dog to do half the things, which is not fun. Those cities seem to cater. I mean, with Sedona, it's all outdoor hiking, so it's kind of like you're already outdoor. But for the California ones, they're pretty good about having restaurants and just dog-friendly beaches. And even when we went to Napa, the wineries are dog-friendly. In I think it was is it Saratoga, where they have like the heat. I don't know what they're called, like the thermal pools or whatever. Some of those hotels are dog friendly, so they've really like thought about dog owners, which is probably one of the major reasons why I like to go out there.
That's fantastic. That is really great. I know that besides being a well-rounded traveler, you also are an influencer and an influencer coach. Why don't you tell all of us more about your business?
Yeah, so I am a dog mom influencer on social media. I create content part-time, and I work with a lot. I do a lot of collaborations with different brands, whether they're dog focused or non-dog focused. I do the whole broad spectrum of a dog-friendly lifestyle, and over time, I've kind of grown my business where I have been helping other dog moms, other dog influencers do the same thing and work with brands to get paid by them. So that is what I do now. And I also do one-on-one coaching, and I also have an ebook that you can purchase to learn more about it.
That's great. To be honest with you, I've had When Pets Fly. I started it during the pandemic, and you could say I let it sit. More just on Facebook, and would just answer questions to pet parents and everything. And it has been, I guess you could say right now, Greta, it's been about a year that I've brought Greta on board to help me with expand my social media presence, basically, and help me develop further is where I am. So trust me, I have my website, whenpets.com. But I feel like I need to be doing more. But I am so busy, you would not believe
I understand that.
but I applaud you for doing what you're doing. You make it seem simple, like thing. So that's great. That's great. But
Now,
you know what it is? It's a full-time job, and here I'm trying to juggle everything I'm doing and that, and that's why I'm overwhelmed with it. But I think
it is a full-time job, which is why I said part-time, because I can only do so much, towards it, since I still work full-time.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I completely understand what you mean.
Mhm.
so just so that people who are watching may have not heard of an influencer, let alone an influencer coach, why don't you explain to everyone exactly what that means and what do you do? And also, if you can let us know some of the brands that you have worked with in being an influencer.
Sure. So I think influencer has become like this strange, term that no one likes. But it's essentially, it can be anybody who gives a product review or talks about their experience with, whether it's a company, flying, whatever it is, traveling. Once you give your opinion on something, you're basically influencing someone else with your opinion. So anyone can be an influencer. And, there are so many accounts out there now that people want to just share their experience using a product. And there are people out there who want to learn about their experience before they purchase it. And they want an honest opinion, not just one where they are paid or they, may not be true. So that's where I think influencers have really grown, because people say their honest opinion about a matter. And so that's kind of how I grew on social media, just giving my advice on whatever I'm currently using. From there, I was able to start getting paid to do so. And I only work with brands that like I truly like or love. And I try to because everything has good and bad. So I try to like tell people a well-rounded, this is what you can expect from a product or company, or when you travel to wherever. And a lot of people have reached out to me wanting to do the same thing as me, getting paid to work with brands. So that's how the whole coaching aspect started, where I was able to start teaching other people to do the same thing as me.
I think that's great. I mean, you just have to have kind of trust that person and everything. And you're just a sweetheart the way you come across. So I would trust you. I tell you, Adam Crispin, Dr. Crispin from last week, I watched one of his TikToks and he was talking about a joint supplement for dogs. And what did I do? I ran straight to Amazon and purchased it, because I said, if he said it was good, it must be good. So really, you have to kind of be familiar with that person, trust that person and everything. And then, he influenced me just from that quick thing. Went in person. So if you do something, trust me, I'll probably pop up and say, hey, I want to get, she said it was good, it must be good.
And that's exactly what an influencer is.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely,
great.
absolutely. It's a form of marketing, especially on social media, that has really taken over. And Sharon pointed out something really critical, that it's not just a paid actor reading a script about a product or service. It's real moms and dads, and in this case, pet parents, who is talking about, okay, this is my experience with this pet product or pet service. And basically, it's what we do anyway behind closed doors, but now it's out on social media. And it's great that companies are including influencers as a part as their marketing budget, because it is taken as a very viable form of marketing. So, for example, I don't know if you both or have heard of the Patty Pie guy. And this was maybe 2, 3 years ago when Patty LaBelle came out with sweet potato pie. And this guy, he's not an influencer at all. He was just some guy who likes to cook and likes to eat. And he got on there and God bless his soul, he can sing, and he sounded just like Patty. And he was acting like his spirit, the spirit of Patty entered in him, and he started singing and dancing, and it was so daggone funny, and it went viral so many times. People still play it today, and just from that one time, his singing career took off. He ended up being on a bunch of different singing specials. Patti LaBelle has taken him on tour herself. They're very good friends. So just doing something on social media that influences people gets you noticed, gets the product noticed, and after that, her pies took off. He did more for her marketing than her whole marketing campaign.
Look, from that, I had to try it. I wasn't big on sweet potato pies, but I had to try it.
Yeah. Just to see if you get the spirit of Patty.
It didn't work for me that way. No. It didn't work that way for me.
Oh, well, I am so happy that Sharon, I guess minus Teddy this time, but Sharon had a chance to come on and speak with us.
He is with me, actually.
You see the baby.
Oh, he's right here.
Cute.
Hi, Teddy.
He has bedhead.
Oh, he's just waking up from a nap.
Yeah.
I love it. I looked at your website, saw photos of you matching outfits and everything. That was so cute.
Thank you. Yeah, not today, but sometimes we do now.
Right. That's nice. That is very nice.
Now he's so well behaved. Do you train him yourself, or have you taken him to classes?
When he was a puppy, we did the whole, puppies like PetSmart. And honestly, I think he's just a good dog. Like, I can't say I trained him well. I can't say, like, it's just him.
I think they take on the personality of their owners a lot of times too. So yeah, they do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mention all that because, Dr. Bryant, I realized all this time we've never mentioned something that's really key. When you travel, your dog or cat has to have the right temperament. You can't take a, overly anxious or wild and crazy dog and take him with you. So the fact that you have such a great dog, I'm sure is a joy to travel with, and he's easily welcomed everywhere he goes. So that definitely is something that needs to be pointed out, and people should recognize.
Here we go.
The applause, yes.
Awesome dog that you have there. That's great. That's great. All right, I think we're gonna have to start tying things down. We're at 1:52, and again, I always fear that things gonna shut down on us. But Sharon, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And if I can assist you, like I said, with your international travel, any questions, the CDC information is going to be your big task. Please let me know if I can help. But again, I really thank you for being here today.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much to both of you for having me on.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And we definitely have to have you back in the new year.
Yes, and you're in Atlanta, so I'm sure our paths should cross.
I'm sure at some point, or we can make it cross too.
We got to make it cross. You're right.
There you go. Well, Sharon, you have a safe and enjoyable trip in January. I hope you have lots of fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing all your pictures with Teddy, because I love your pictures. They're so well taken, and we will definitely have you back next year.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, guys.
Absolutely. Take care, dear.
Bye. Awesome.
Yes. Well, that was a great one.
That was really, really good. It's nice to hear from a really seasoned pet traveler, how she takes care of it and everything. And also learn about what she does as an influencer. So I think that's awesome.
She gave some great tips.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love is that it's from the perspective of a traveling pet parent, Absolutely.
Not a paid person saying, yes,
there you go. Not a paid person.
Yeah, that's great. That's really good.
Well, next week is going to be our last Facebook Live for 2022. We hope that you can join us. But leading up to that one, we are going to have a contest to benefit all of our friends and fans that not only come during the lives, but also catch the replays. And there's a whole lot of you that do, and we appreciate that so much. So we are doing giveaways, and our friends from Zounds, as well as a Sherpa bag, I should say Sherpa pet carrier bag, will be a part of our gifts, and a couple of other toys to help. So we from Zounds, they are providing a prize pack of an annual subscription to Zounds Music for Pets, plus an Amazon Echo Dot speaker. So they have 5 of those that we're giving away, along with 2 Sherpa pet carry-on bags. So again, the Sherpa pet bags, they are the bags that are airline approved, and the standards were made from these bags. So we have 2 of those that we are giving away. And then there are some very cute pet gifts, Huggy Pup and Huggy Kitty. Both of them are plush toys to help your cat or dog with their anxiety. They can cuddle up together and all that good stuff. So we have all of these that we are going to give away. So the contest that we're having is basically a, would you like to tell them about the contest? I saw you moving.
No, I'm excited about it. Basically, submit a photo, and I'm sorry, you probably have more details. Is it submit a photo through the email box, or how are we doing that with that? But submit a photo of your pet in a Christmas outfit or something festive for Christmas, the Christmas season. Submit that, and the ones with the most likes will win. And tell the details. I'm sorry, as far as how it's going to get to our page and all that stuff. But yes.
Sure, sounds great. So everyone, you have to get as many photos as you want. So we'll allow that. Let's say you have all kinds of holiday outfits to match with your pet, or not even match, but a cute photo with your pet. You are going to follow Dr. Nelva, Bryant, and When Pets Fly on Facebook and IG, as well as follow Zounds Music for Pets on Facebook and IG. And then you're going to submit your photo to either the Facebook or IG, and then you'll have to put hashtag When Pets Fly, so it'll pop up and we'll see it. And the top 5 vote getters, and how you get a vote is by people liking your picture. And so the people by the pictures, the top 5 that have the most likes by the 22nd will win all of these prizes. So the next time we come on Facebook Live is next Friday, the 23rd. So we're going to get our top 5 people with pictures, and we will give out these prizes. Now, obviously, you won't get them by Christmas. But we will put the bags and the other, the Zounds Music for Pet prize pack in the mail by the 26th or the 27th, so that you'll get them the week after Christmas.
I think that's a wonderful, a wonderful gift.
There you go.
It will be my Christmas. It's really something to really thank our viewers. I mean, we have a lot of followers on the When Pets Fly page, the group, Instagram, Twitter. So it's kind of something that we can just show our thanks to everyone that's been supporting us. So
absolutely, absolutely. And more importantly, even if you're either one of these items aren't right for your pet, you can give them away as gifts.
Right.
So
that's a nice gift. Like I said, very nice gift.
They all are. So we hope that you guys will join the contest, and we look forward to seeing all of these gorgeous photos of you as well as your pet. And we look forward to closing out the year with you in a fun, festive way for the holidays.
Yeah, perfect. So tune in for next Friday, 1 o'clock.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank
Well,
you, everyone. Thank you, Greta.
yes.
Love it. Love it.
Well, I wanted to thank everyone for joining us and watching the replays, and we look forward to going into the new year. There's so much more that Dr. Bryant and I want to do with you, and we will be letting you know more about what's coming up in the new year as the new year approaches. Dr. Bryant, I thank you so much for for being a part of this and introducing your travel world to the whole world. Would you like to say anything?
Nope, we're all done. Thank you everyone for listening in on us today and watching today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.